The big voice. KWTN 100.9 FM. Nebraska. The official radio station of the Winnebago tribe.
Is this on?
Hello.
We're going to turn up the headphones just a little bit so we can hear a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I got it.
Beautiful.
Good morning, everybody. This is Tuesday morning, and it is time for Bago Talks. And so I will be in the studio along with DJ Bethani and Tyler Snake. Yeah, a little bit closer there. So how's the music sound?
You could bring it down a little bit.
Just a
Sounds
little bit.
good. Just bring it down, though. Yeah.
All right, how's that?
Much better.
So we are finally back. We've been away for a couple of weeks simply because we had some technical difficulties and the streaming player had issues. It needed to be slapped around a little bit and then told to get its act together. It did. It showed up in a brand new format, and so we have a new desktop computer that's capable of handling a lot more streaming activity. So do we know any information about it?
It's I believe a gaming PC system.
So it's made for video.
Yeah, very durable.
Very, very
Maximum
nice.
performance.
Maximum performance. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it Max. Yeah. So welcome aboard, Max. About time.
I know.
No, and no shade.
Stream-based.
Yes, and no shade to our former laptop. It did its job
She's still kicking.
Yes, for 2 whole seasons.
Yes.
And so we're happy to have that out there. So what do we got going on today?
So today here on The Big Voice, we are back for a new episode. We're at Season 2 of Winnebago Talks, Episode 3. And so we'll have a special guest joining us here in the studio. But first and foremost, we'll kind of go into some introductions. If I can talk, right? But I am DJ Bethani. My name's Bethani Redhorn. I'm the Communications Office Manager. And I also have my lovely co-hosts.
Yes. I don't know if that's on there.
She's 4.
Go ahead, try it again.
Okay, good morning. No,
Yeah, it's still not there.
I think it's the one next to it.
Try it again. Three,
Testing.
5. Try that one.
Testing.
I don't know.
Let's turn them on.
I know, it says 4, and now we can hear the echo from our others, so 3 is not there. Try that one.
Testing.
I think that's it.
I can kind of hear myself.
Can you?
So real quick, while you're getting that situated, just go ahead and keep just let us hear a freestyle, Ty. Just kidding.
Yeah, 'cause that one says 5.
Yeah. So we used that mic on this past Wednesday on July 3rd when we had that cornhole tournament down at the big screen.
Turn that one toward you.
Testing.
That's
There you
way better. Yeah, there you
use this
go.
one.
So we're using that one. Yeah, something's wrong with it. So
So
that
we
one-
rewired it. That's my bad. My bad.
No worries. So maybe
Well,
it's not plugged in. No, just
Good morning, everyone.
yeah, okay, so reintroduce yourself.
Good morning. I am Tyler Snake, the Winnebago Indian News Office Circulation Manager.
Yes, and I, of course, I'm MCBKC, otherwise known as Brian Chamberlain, the editor for the Winnebago Indian News. So to start off, the Winnebago Indian News, of course, came out with its latest, I always say episode, but I always mean issue, on this past Saturday. And so we are gearing up, of course, for the 158th annual homecoming celebration. And that is, of course, in a couple of weeks, or about, I forget how many days, we're probably about 15 days away.
One payday away.
Yes, and one payday. So, and that's kind of where we're going. So the first thing that I want to bring out of the gate is we held a contest for people on our social media to submit photos that were going to be featured on the masthead of this issue of the W.I.N, as well as the coming issue of the W.I.N. And so the first winner came out, and that was submitted by Jessica Smith Lapointe. And I always got to say that because her maiden name is Smith, but I's married now. So yeah, so she's just Jessica Lapointe. She submitted a photo, and that was our first winner for this issue of the Winnebago Indian News. And I do believe that's her son. Did we get his name? I don't know his name.
Clay.
Clay with a K, yeah.
Yes.
And so he is a young chicken dancer, and it was a really good photo. It was one that showed up. The resolution was great. I guess the scope of it, all that type of thing. And when we went through it with the staff that was looking at it, everybody was like, "That's got to be one of the winners." So very, very good. So of course that was held on our social media. You can see all of those photos because they're still there. We didn't take them down, and so from the remainder, we will be also selecting the winner for next issue coming out in about a week and a half. And then, of course, we will debut it at that point, too. So congratulations, Jessica. She is the winner of a white-hot Winnebago Indian News t-shirt, and she has bragging rights for all 4 days of the 158th powwow, so she gets to go around.
That is awesome.
Yes, she gets to go around. We're showing it on the screen as well. That's her son, Clay, and it's an awesome little photo. And so, of course, usually on the masthead we have a photograph of our founder, Neola Walker, but because it is the powwow month, we decided to give Neola a little break, and the other side of the photo is the glorious grand entry ramp out at the Veterans Memorial Park. So,
Pretty cool.
yep. So what else do you have, Tyler?
Most recently, in our last issue for our Bagel Bits, I talked about Little Priest's 2-day metalsmith workshop.
Yeah, they
It's pretty
did.
cool.
Yes, they did. They had it was real. I don't want to call it impromptu because they did plan it out, but they put it out there and people could basically sign up and learn how to do kind of some
Brooches?
metalworking. Yeah,
Yeah.
and various types of things. And I didn't know about it until, I saw it way afterwards, and I had other things, and I really wish I could have went because that was super interesting. And so the photographs that we were able to get from that showed some of the participants, and you were able to capture part of that. And I think that they probably had a good time. What an
Yeah.
interesting thing. So we're
Pretty
blowing up
cool.
on text here.
I believe they had that last year also, but it's pretty cool. You know, they use all the tools and
Yeah.
you create your own design. And I don't know what brooches are specifically used for. I don't know, put it on your clothes or hair, regalia, but
Maybe
nonetheless, pretty cool.
Yes, wherever you want to wear it, whatever you're feeling that day. So, yeah, very, very good. Metal working class. They have another one coming up as well with, I think, is it Wajay class? Is that the
I'm pretty
little
sure
class?
that's going on, yeah.
Yeah. And I think the sign up for that is happening, if it hasn't already expired, it's really, really soon. So
Yeah.
look on Little Priest Tribal Colored social media and you'll be able to see all of the activity that's happening there. So
Check them out.
Yeah, anything
And then
else?
The second one, I was kind of highlighting Little Priest Public Library. They had a summer reading program.
nice.
Pretty cool. Keep the kids learning, you know, just forget everything they learned.
Gotta keep that brain moving.
Yes, keep it reading and stuff. Did you guys ever used to do that when you were young? Did you have summer reads?
I never
Yes,
did it. You
I
know,
did.
they send you home with that whole
Right.
thing and you mark it out. No.
Oh yeah, I would make sure I got all my little books in, and
Did you?
I was always the first one there to redeem my ticket and get
Any
the
of-
incentive.
Any of the stories stand out in your mind? The ones you remember?
I would say, thinking back, a highlight would probably be those Shel Silverstein books. I know they're not
Okay.
like a novel or nothing; they're poetry and things like that. But
Hey, that's not bad.
I love those.
Yeah, those are very, very good. And so I was a reader on my own and stuff. And so I remember very specifically, I was a huge Stephen King fan
Oh,
when I
yeah.
was young. And so I remember specifically reading, of course, the book was called Four Seasons. And there were 4 stories, and they were based on the seasons. So, you know, winter, summer, fall, spring, etc. And the fall from, I think, what was it? Fall from something. But it became the movie, and the story was called Apt Pupil. Did you ever see that movie? The movie didn't do the book justice, of course, because Stephen King really went deep. But basically, it was a story about a younger teenage boy who had a neighbor, and his neighbor, he ended up finding out, was one of the Nazi concentration camp officers. And then, of course, the way Stephen King goes, he really went down the rabbit hole with him. And so if you ever have a chance to pick that story up and actually read the book, it's not very long, you know, because it's part of a four series, but it's one of, I think, his best stories because he really, really goes in.
Yeah,
So,
Stephen
but that I
King's
read
good.
that during the summer.
I should start a book club.
I know,
Yes, yes.
Mackie. He was
Does
trying to
he
start.
want to?
He was trying to get one going.
Okay. Well, maybe.
He had a
maybe.
little group on Facebook and stuff.
As
not
long
not
as
to
it's
put
not
his business
Danielle
out there,
Steele. No.
but that would be pretty cool. I'd be down to do that.
Okay. So, anything else then, Tyler?
No, other than if anybody listening wants to update their mailing address or join if they are a tribal member, on or off the res, different continent, whatever, just hit me up at tyler.snake@winnebagotribe.com, or even to become a WIN contributor and share content with us, advertise, anything, let me know.
All right, very, very good. We will have a couple of questions for the answer is.
Ooh.
So we get a hint.
One of them has to do with outer space.
Oh,
My
So,
fave.
Yes.
I don't know, I might lose.
I think you do all right.
She's good with geography, it's scary.
Okay, so we'll call you back in a little bit later. So while we're transitioning through, one of the things we're also going to point out with the Winnebago Indian News that you see on the screen, we did a review of the movie Inside Out 2. Did you get a chance to see that?
I went to go see it last night.
What'd you think?
I love that movie. It made me cry.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was the weirdest like reaction because I was just sitting there just enjoying it. I was just like, man, this is a good movie. And then there was a scene that just got me, and I was just like, and just one little alligator tear start falling. I was like, oh my god, he got a reaction out of me. But it's a good movie. I suggest anyone out there that maybe your child's at that age of adjusting or transitioning into young adolescence.
Yes.
It's a good movie to kind of help them better understand those changes.
Yes, of course. And the review of the movie Inside Out 2 is in this latest issue of the Winnebago Indian News, which technically came out on Saturday, July 6th. But in the movie, they introduce new emotions
Yes.
because Riley in the first, that's the main character.
Yes.
In the first movie was dealing kind of with the primary emotions, joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear.
Yep.
So they add in a few others. And I got to say, I'm not ruining the movie for you because it blew it up all over the place, but I really loved boredom or ennui.
I know.
I loved that. I loved it more than I thought I would because it was just nah.
He was just kind of just chill wherever he went.
Yes, and so that's a good one there. And also because the land back issue was passed by the United States Senate. So Nebraska Senator Deb Fisher put forward the companion bill for the House resolution. I believe it's 1280, and that passed within the last 2 weeks as well. There's a lot of stuff that really went on in that
Yeah.
2-week period. The land back issue, of course, the little kind of temporary mini flood that happened out at Winnebago and down at the river bottom area. And then, of course, the Winnebago Culture Camp, which was hosted by the Ho Chunk Renaissance Program, as well as many other friends to the program.
Yes.
There's a lot of people. And so, unfortunately, if I start saying names, I'm going to skip someone, and I don't want to do that. But you guys, you know who you are.
Yes.
And they went out to the Veterans Memorial Park area pretty much every day, but they went also around town. They had the bonfire down at the big screen on Wednesday of that week. And so a lot of stuff was had there, and a lot of good pictures were captured.
Definitely. I thought that was a good turnout as well, the bonfire event. And, big shout out to all the people that had a helping hand in getting the information out when it was in the midst of all the flooding and things like that.
Yeah.
And so big shout out to everybody that had a helping hand in that, the departments that were tirelessly working to make sure that all the safety needs were met and stuff like that. And of course, my co-host here and my supervisor, DJ Guaranteed, for the efforts of documenting that as well.
Yeah, they did a really good job. I actually got to go out there on Friday when they were dancing. They were in the parking lot area. They didn't want to mess with the arena because they're still trying to bring the grass up, so it's good for the actual celebration. But they were letting the young students practice the snake dance.
I seen the
That
video
was
of that.
so good, yeah, and I really liked it because a lot of them really didn't know, or maybe they have never seen it, and so they kind of took them through it. And they went and they were very patient, but it was good to see the young tribal members participating in that activity. So, okay, so who do we have?
So we will kind of invite our first guest up here. And so while she's coming up and getting mic'd up, we'll have, So I wanted to make mention, as always, here on The Big Voice, we have The Big Hour, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yes.
And so you hosted The Big Hour yesterday.
Yep, and my show was Songs Turning 30
Yes.
in 2024. So I like to say that because, of course, the big 3-0. And when you thought about it, because I introduced the show that way, 30 years ago wasn't 2014.
No.
It wasn't 2004. It was all the way back to 1994. And so when people, because I got some feedback off it, they were like, oh my God, you're making us feel old. And I say, you are. No.
I was thinking back when I was listening, I had your show playing on my desktop, and I was like, 30. I don't care if people know how old I am. Like, I'm 30 right now, and I was just like, dang, like, I was just probably not even 1 year old yet when these songs were out and just popular.
Those songs were in existence your entire life. So.
Yes.
But it was a good playlist.
The Big Hour every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then you can join me tomorrow for the Big Hour. So that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over the noon hour.
Very, very good. Okay.
So we are joined here in the studio. A lovely face I have not seen in forever.
I know, right?
But she's here to talk about a upcoming event. So I'll go ahead and let you just introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us what you're here for today.
Yes. So my name is Trisha Rivers, and I am a Winnebago tribal member.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah. I know, right? I'm just like jamming out to this song right now, so
Vibing.
nostalgia. I'm here to represent the Red Sky Nation MMIR powwow.
Okay.
And that will be taking place here this weekend at the Riverside Park in Sioux City. And it is basically centered around, the whole entire powwow is centered around the MMIR crisis and just bringing resources together, having an intentional approach to have conversations when it comes to the crisis and everything that is entailed with that. So I mentioned, violence, poverty, substance abuse, domestic violence, everything, gender-based violence. So it's basically just us coming together in a culturally specific safe space to have those conversations, and it's open to the general public. So it's not just for natives. Non-natives are also encouraged to come and also learn about it too as well.
So take us back a little bit to the basics. What is MMIR?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, it's popularly known as MMIW,
Right.
IW,
Yeah.
which is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. So MMIR is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives. I like to use the R because it is inclusive to our children, our men, our two spirits.
Other genders.
Yes. So, and that's not to not discount what happens to our Indigenous women. However, I want to be more inclusive to the bigger conversation when it comes to the crisis.
Of course, because I think I can't speak, terribly knowledgeably about this, but I am, residually aware, and I do know that the vast majority of the occurrences, of course, are with our female relatives, which is why it started out with MMIW,
Yes.
Indigenous women. But of course, with the awareness building and all that type of thing, it did eventually evolve into Indigenous relatives, and so
Yes.
that's a good level of awareness to put out there, because some people kind of wonder, like, I thought it was W.
Yes.
Or what is R? And so we're including everyone, because while women are the vast majority of the people involved, and I don't like to say victims, I want to say involved, because victims means something different, and their involvement with it is because I have to say, can you even say happily? Not all end up in a death or a passing.
Yeah, unfortunately.
There's human trafficking and that type of thing.
Oh, yes,
But the
absolutely.
vast majority of course, then unfortunately are women. So
Yes, absolutely. So, again, this is just kind of a large scale of. I think when it first happened, I think it was in 2021, and so we're just like coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
And so it was the family of the late Terry McCauley, which is a well-known MMIR case in the
Right.
Siouxland area, and they wanted to come together to, put this event on. It just kind of, I don't know, it grew over the years, and so last year, I was approached by them, and they asked if I would be able to help with last year's powwow. And so Great Plains Action Society, which is an Indigenous-led nonprofit organization, which I work for, we were able to organize the last year's powwow, and it was just an amazing turnout. And I honestly wasn't, expecting such a large number of folks to come out, but we didn't know, so we have Yellowhammer traveling from the south region, and then this year we're having Little Bear from the north, and then we have Invited Drums, so Mazakute, and then we also have New Breed that's going to be invited. So yeah, so we're just really like, it's just turning into this bigger powwow, and I hope to see it continue. But like I said, it was really just one family's, you know, just intention of like wanting to create that safe space in the Siouxland area, and really raise the awareness of not just her case, but also like everybody else in the Siouxland area.
Yeah, because we're showing I don't know if that's basically
The website.
Okay, we're showing some of the images there. So as you're scrolling down there, you can see a lot of the relatives that are unfortunately included in this. Do you want to call it it's not a celebration. What would you call it?
Like a memorialization? No.
It's just we also feel the same way too, because it's not really like we're coming to celebrate that. We're coming together because we need to have that conversation.
Exactly.
You know, open the
and to bring awareness to the overall situation. So
but that doesn't mean we don't not encourage folks to have a good time. It's, you know, I think powwows bring such a good feeling, and that's, you know, kind of essentially with the drum groups, you know, that drum is to bring good medicine and good feelings.
Yes.
Very much true, very much true. And as we're scrolling through the website there, I saw that, man, you guys have a ton of actual corporate sponsors and other individuals. Wow,
Yes,
really
we
good
were
work.
so fortunate to have such a great response to, you know, in regards to our sponsors. So we'll have KWTN out there live streaming, so the Big Voice Radio. But other sponsors such as MERD, we have Junior League of Sioux City, and then we also have our tribal entities that also, you know, partner. So it's a really great, like, it just shows how much. And then I love the fact that there's so many trades, or like tradesmen or trade women or individuals or just businesses that also, you know, supported this. So it really truly is a community effort.
Even a hotel. Wow.
Yeah.
No,
so,
she's scrolling through, so I'm looking at it as you're speaking, and
so we're trying to keep it going, and, you know, like, we just want to encourage everyone to come out, and so my auntie Polly, who's also a Winnebago tribal member, she went missing in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
She went to Riverside, California with her then abusive ex-husband. We didn't know she got married when she was out there. So so the last reports of anybody hearing from her was this postcard that my choka received, and then nobody knew where she went, and then I think the family was notified that her body had been found, but the only reason why it was found was because there was a nearby accident, and so the reporting officer for that accident just happened to go out because he was trying to get measurements from the accident, and just seen her body and laying there.
Oh, jeez.
And so my sister Jessica Lopez Walker, she's the one that undertook that, and actually we're in the process of getting her back to the reservation so that way we can lay her to rest next to our choka. So so it's very personal. It's very, you know, I feel like there's so many folks in Indian country that have been impacted by this public health crisis in one way or another, you know, whether it's a relative or even yourself. You know, we've done searches, we've helped with searches for some folks that resulted in, you know, having them found safe, and so it's truly just you know, we need to have this conversation, and let's have this space for our MMIR families to come to, so that way they can share those kind of grief feelings together. You know, we're talking about inside out, so like, you know, being able to be vulnerable in that safe space, but also like doing it in a way of like the powwow, you know. So no,
the arena is always a good area, of course, you know, because it invites all of the relatives from all of the nations, and so the powwow that you guys are putting together is the 3rd annual. And I remember the first one that you did, because when you were describing that, it was right after COVID.
Yes.
And everyone was, I mean, maybe it isn't the best, but people were happy to be together outside.
Yes.
And I remember that feeling there, because, you know, all of the relatives that came, of course, they still kind of like, get away from me.
I know, right?
But
Everyone's still like,
but I'm glad you're here. No,
right?
it's good to see you from over there. No, just kidding.
Right.
But yeah, so if anyone wants to reach out to you, how do they get a hold of you? Or the organization?
You can definitely. So we have a Facebook page, and it's Red Sky Nation MMIR Powwow. You can reach out. There's on the website. There's GreatPlainsAction.org /MMIR Powwow. You can also, there's like our powwow poster, and so like the information is right there. You're probably going to get Melissa Kumar, who's been so awesome, because it's a lot. It's a lot to be the contact person.
Social media monitoring is a job that people just don't. Yeah, I get it. We get it. So,
so she'll probably be the one to be in contact with you. You can shoot us a Facebook message if you want to. We're still accepting vendors. I know the food vendors have to have their documentation in by today, or the application. But arts and crafts, I think we'll still accept it to the day of. So, but you just have to pay your fee, and that's all listed onto the webpage. So it lays it all out. There's applications. We'll have a princess. I think we'll do the application for the princess.
Is there a reigning princess now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She is the first Red Sky Nation MMIR Powwow princess, and her name is Caitlin Miller.
Okay.
She is the daughter of Jen and then the late U.S. Marine Corporal John Miller.
Okay.
Yes. So, and she represented us very well. So.
Very good. So is it what age category is that, or just pretty much anything?
I think we are asking that, obviously, if we have an age where, if the parents are able to get them, if they're kind of underage, or the parents are able to get them to the powwows and things like that. But I want to say probably like 12 plus. Okay. It's just gonna
typically in the
vary.
junior category. Okay.
Yeah. So, but like I said, if parents are able to get the princess to where the princess needs to go and show up, and they understand what this title carries, then I mean, like, we're very flexible, and we're still, it's still a learning process for us too. So we're a fairly new powwow, but.
So what's happening with the event itself? Can you describe like the itinerary or the agenda?
So I'm glad that you asked that. We do have a powwow program, which will have the itinerary in.
Okay.
I'm super proud of the powwow program because it is jam-packed with a lot of information. It'll have like all the head staff bios, or just kind of their message. And then we have MMIR cases that have been listed in Iowa, South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota. We don't post those unless we have family's permission to do so. And so those are in there. And then we do have a tentative agenda because things get crazy sometimes.
Sure.
And we have such a jam-packed, we have a lot of specials and, just contest. And
so the event is actually starting on Friday.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. So it'll start, Gourd Dance starts at 5 p.m. on Friday. Grand entry is at 7 p.m. And then Saturday will be, I think, 12 p.m. for the Gourd Dance, and then 1 p.m. for grand entry. And then the evening portion will be 5 and then 7.
Okay. And
then Sunday will be 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a time limit? Because that was a question that was thrown around here in the office on coverage. Is there a time limit on that, like when it has to be done by, or are you guys going to go into the wee hours? What are those Indians doing?
I know. So that's kind of like the challenge of doing it within the city, is that we do have to have, or we're trying to close everything out by 10:30, just because we want to be respectful of the residents that are living in that area. But it may go over a little bit, but I think the hard stop is 10:45 each night. So like I said, we're going to try to squeeze in as much as we can and, hope for the best. The weather seems to be looking pretty good, but very hot.
Very hot, yes. I'm glad you said that, because the forecast it's going to be in the mid to upper 90s the entire weekend.
So, yes.
Yeah. Good day.
So we will have the ground sprayed for bugs, because obviously from the recent flooding.
Right.
Yep. So the grounds will be sprayed. We encourage folks to bring chairs. We will have some seating, but it'll be very limited.
Yeah.
But bring your chairs, your canopies, bring lots of water. If you we have water for the dancers and for the staff, but bring your water if you need
Just
some.
wanna-
Yeah, if you want to stay
Very much,
hydrated.
yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna have food vendors there. We will have arts and crafts vendors, and then the informational and resources kind of, in between those. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So during the event itself, do you guys do like announcements of the MMIR activity or like what it's about,
Yeah.
or do you just stick to the powwow?
No, we try to whenever we can. I think last year I opened up with the invocation and kind of just set the tone for everything, as far as what we're here, what we're doing, and why we're doing it. We definitely try to keep that trickled within the powwow. So
Right.
I know that the supper for Saturday is going to be provided and sponsored by Lanice Blackbird's family. Lanice was an Omaha woman that went missing and then found murdered. She was found under mysterious circumstances.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, she didn't get that way on her own.
Yes,
and
exactly. So,
Very, very good. I mean, there's a lot of good activities. So the event starts Friday evening with the gourd dance. And
Yes.
then, of course, the grand entry, as you said, at 7 p.m. And then it's going to go all weekend long. So if you have the availability, by all means, go up to Riverside Park, which is in the western area, right off I-29.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yep.
the flooding has subsided, and so
Yes.
even though you will see the damaged grass and etc., don't worry, you will still be able to get in there
Exactly.
quite easily and that type of thing. And then, like what you said, bring your chairs, bring your blankets, bring your bug spray. bring your
Yes.
water. Yeah. So is it pet friendly?
Yes, it is. As long as you have
Awesome.
your pets on a leash, it is okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can bring your boa
So
constrictor.
Yoda. So Yoda's gonna be wild this weekend.
Okay,
Just kidding.
so it doesn't say
That's
so.
funny.
Yeah. Anyway, so okay. So anything else with the event that we
No,
haven't covered?
we just want to encourage everyone to come out. It's going to be a good time. Again, it's just to open that conversation. Maybe you don't know about the crisis and everything that entails, but yes, we encourage everyone to come out.
Yeah, and so the powwow again itself is happening this weekend, and like we mentioned previously, there's a ton of different sponsors who are helping make this event possible, as well as really echoing the message that needs to be put out there around generating awareness on what this actually is and what it means. And even though, yeah, you've been doing it for 3 years, it still needs to go way, way further. And so everything that happens to help build that, I think, is a good thing. And you can see those sponsors listed on the screen right now. There's a lot of different ones, as well as a QR code. So
Yes, absolutely.
very, very good.
Well, thank you so much for setting time out for us. And
Absolutely. And I'm
we'll
glad you were
hopefully
able to
see
make
you
it
out there.
through. And so,
Yes.
yeah, 'cause
Yes.
last week, we had some other activities, and like what we said, our technical difficulties we could not get past, but you can see it on the floor
We
below
prevailed.
you. Yes, Max
And
is
that's all
sitting
that
on the floor.
Persevered.
Yes. So good to see you.
Alright. Thank you.
Yes.
thanks
Thanks,
for
Trisha.
coming up.
See you this weekend. All right. So I just have the remaining posters scroll through.
Yeah, it looks good.
Cool features. I'm over here just in my glory, loving this new
Well, I
system.
love it too because they also have the Hampton Inn on there. So, because people may be traveling, and so there is a hotelier that's set up to basically accommodate the travelers. And so very, very nice. And that's what I love about this, because it builds on itself, and you see it evolving. And yes, it is in its 3rd year, but of course, it has grown to what it's done, and it's going to go even more. So very,
Yep.
very good. Plus, like what we said, the weather is supposed to be very, very warm. So bring your umbrellas, set up a canopy, definitely bring your chairs and that type of thing, because it's going to be a good event. And even if you can't catch all 3 days, try to come out for part of it.
Definitely.
So
Excited for that. So as she did mention, Trish mentioned, the big voice will be there.
yes.
So maybe someone out there is unable to
Right.
attend in person.
Right.
We'll be bringing a live stream to YouTube, so you can tune in and join us virtually on the
Very,
Big
very
Voice
good,
YouTube.
Yeah. So the coverage that's happening with that as well, that's always a good thing, because the more events that the Big Voice ends up doing, it just gets better and better. And
Yes.
I like to see that. So again, some relatives, they like to just hear it. They want to they may not be able to come because of whatever reasons, or it's just too far away. But at the same time, I guess I want to put out there as well, if you have relatives that are in this scenario, or people that you basically want to honor and memorialize, come up and dance on their behalf.
Definitely.
Because that's part of what I don't want to use that word loosely, but what the celebration is about. Because these individuals, they were very real people, and I always like that phrase. It was used in BLM, but say their names.
Yes.
Because
say their names.
Yes, these were very real people. They were very real individuals with family members left behind and that type of thing. And so there's a lot of good awareness to be had. There'll be a lot of good information to be shared, as well as all of the other amenities that come along with a powwow.
Definitely.
So come up to Riverside Park Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this coming weekend.
Yes. July 12th, 13th, and 14th.
I know. Yeah. Saturday is actually my son's birthday.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So, okay.
So it's about that time, wouldn't you say?
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I just had to do it.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Wrong show. No, just kidding.
No, it's all good. It's every show. So.
But we had Trisha Rivers stop by. She talked about the MMIR 3rd Annual Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives Powwow happening at Riverside Park in Sioux City,
Yes.
Iowa. Some of the other things that we have going on here at the Big Voice. So we briefly touched over it. The land back, you can read about that in the Winnebago Indian News.
Yeah, let's go into that a little bit, because we didn't get to cover that last week because of our technical issues and that type of thing. But of course, like what we said in the introduction, Senator Deb Fischer introduced the companion bill to the House resolution, which was passed several months ago, and that was introduced by Representative Randy Feenstra of I believe the 5th district or 4th district of Iowa, and that is where the land is actually located.
Yes.
And so Deb Fischer, who is of course a Nebraska senator, introduced the bipartisan effort, which finally passed the Senate in that last 2-week period. And of course, that was what was necessary in order to send it to President Biden's desk. Now, I haven't heard anything recently if there's going to be a time when he actually does sign it. He is anticipated to sign it. There's not going to be any objection. But if they were able to hold an event or see like a signing ceremony, I think they were going to get back to us. But the overall issue is there is land that is down literally on the Missouri River, 2 different parcels that the Army Corps of Engineers illegally took from the Winnebago people back in 1970. So the fight has been going on for 54 years.
Yes.
And it finally took a literal act of Congress in order to correct the wrongs that were done back then. And so there's a ton of different tribal members, a ton of different tribal leaders, other individuals, of course, lawyers, etc., people just interested, tribal members in general, that brought this forward. And it took 54 years, but it finally passed the Senate. And then once it reaches the president's desk, we're going to be blowing that up all over the place, because he will sign it into law. It'll go through its processes, and those 2 parcels of land will once again return to the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska.
Yes.
Very, very good.
If I could Lulu right now, I totally would. Or Warhoop or something.
I know we need to get one of those sound effect things. So yeah, exactly that. And there is a very good story about this in the Winnebago Indian News, as well as on our social media for the Winnebago Indian News, the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska.
Yes.
The Big Voice also forwarded all of that, because this is something we really want the tribal members to be aware of. Mostly because it is land that was ours and it needed to be returned, etc. And really honoring the fight, the effort. 54 years. There's some people probably listening that this was your whole life. It's been going on in longer. And so you think about that, wow, half a century in order to correct something that was done. So very, very good.
Definitely. So you can go to the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska's YouTube page, the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska on YouTube.
Yep.
They have a Winnebago Land Transfer Act passes U.S. Senate video that you can watch.
Yes.
It kind of summarizes everything, and good visual.
Yes, Chairwoman Kitcheon did have a prepared statement which she read, and I know she was also on the local media at the time and had some pretty good coverage there. But all of the other members of the council who were present at the meeting also expressed themselves, and so it was good to get their points of view and their perspectives, because it's a very momentous, very historic thing. And so definitely check out that YouTube video if you haven't seen it.
All right. So in other words with the Big Voice as well, we mentioned the Big Hour. So we're back with Winnebago Talks. So this is episode 3 of season 3. And so we also have on into Thursday, All Requests Live,
Yes.
hosted by yours truly. So we have All Requests Live every Thursday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We do have the top 5 out, so if you haven't voted yet, make sure you get your votes in.
Do you have your graphic?
I do.
Okay.
I'll grab it real quick.
Yeah, and so All Request Live, hosted by our very own DJ Bethani, like what she said, every Thursday, live from 11 to 1, and you can call or text is probably better, 402-922-3347. Songs for whatever reason, whether you just want to hear it or you send it out as a shout out or dedicate it to someone, that's what it's about. And then any radio friendly song she will put onto the playlist. And also birthday celebrities. So if you have family members who are celebrating their birthdays during the week, get a hold of her as well, and she'll give you that shout out at the top of the hour, midway through the show. So on the screen, you have your top 5.
Yes. So we have our winner from the last episode. So we did not have an episode last week, but DJ Guaranteed had this bright idea. So MCBKC and myself, we went live on Wednesday with a mini edition of ARL. It was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it really was.
And then, so we didn't do the top 5, but from 2 weeks ago, we had Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. So that's the winner carrying over into this new timeline. We have Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Fast Car by Luke Combs, Too Legit to Quit, MC Hammer and Saja or Saja?
Yeah, I think it's Saja.
And then Let's Stay Together by Al Green.
Yes, the Reverend Al Green makes the playlist. And so was Fast Car on the list before?
I think it was the original one.
Oh, by
Chapman?
Yeah, Tracy Chapman. Okay.
And then this is totally off topic, but what do you know about MC Hammer? Was he a really notorious gangster a long time ago?
No, he tried to become some. So MC Hammer started out in the 1980s, and so I'm giving you kind of just a brief synopsis of it. And he actually he was his own producer, and he was in basically the San Francisco, Oakland Bay area, because that's what he talks about, Oaktown, and that was where he was basically starting from. And if I remember correctly, I believe he was also in the military earlier in his career. But anyway, that's not the point. So he learned the industry by doing it. So then when his vibe started to catch on in the late 80s, the record industry wanted to basically gobble him up, and do that kind of thing. But he held out. And so he blew up, of course, in 1989 with the big song, Can't Touch This. Now, he had songs before that. He had an album out before that. But Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em was his biggest album, and it had Can't Touch This, which, of course, sampled She's a Very Freaky Girl. That one by, oh my God.
Nicki Minaj. No, I'm just kidding. Not even.
No, it wasn't Nicki Minaj. I don't know how.
When I first heard it, that's who I heard it from, was her version of that. But I asked that because, so if DJ Guaranteed out there is listening, I apologize. I totally gave him a totally different rundown. I seen this real random video. I won't go into detail about it, but I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
But I seen this thing. I was talking about MC Hammer, and that he was like, people were scared of him. I don't know.
No, and that's where we're going with that. So he started out as it was a very much live hip hop type environment.
Yeah.
And so he had the dancers that were basically doing these aerobic type dance, and that kind of thing and stuff. And he had the hammer pants and all this kind of stuff. And that's what he embodied in 1989, 1990, 1991, etc. So then as the music industry transitioned away, especially because of the Milli Vanilli scandal, etc. Now, MC Hammer rapped. He was a legit artist, too legit to quit. But at the same time, the sellout vibe kind of became different. So he tried to rebrand himself as this gangster, and it really didn't work. It really did not work. Because everyone had seen him basically jumping and dancing, with, Can't Touch This and that kind of stuff. And it's like, now you're sitting there with a hat on and sunglasses and trying,
baggy pants.
Yeah, and it's like, it didn't work. Now, he had 2 good songs off of that album, don't get me wrong, because one was Pumps and a Bump, and it's a really nice song, but it's like the gangster vibe. No, it didn't work for him.
So it didn't work for him.
No, not for him.
Squirrel moment.
Yeah.
But that is our top 5. So if you haven't voted yet, so MC Hammer's on there. We got Al Green, Luke Combs, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and Fleetwood Mac. That's actually a repeat winner.
Yeah.
Dreams did hold it down for a while.
And I'm gonna put this out there right now because the DJs and we come up with the list. We gotta have something about repeat winners.
Yeah.
So it's like, either that
no bueno.
Yeah, it's like because they already won. They already got theirs.
Get them out of there.
Yeah,
No, I'm
so
just kidding.
we have to come up with newer songs.
All right. So if you haven't voted yet, you can still vote. We have ARL on Thursdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then that takes us into Res Ride with MCBKC.
So that's from 4 to 6 p.m. and we basically cruise around the res and we give you all kinds of things. Of course,
Joyride.
yes, the celebrity birthdays, the new sensation Thursdays where we debut newer songs or music that needs to be put out there, and then of course the infamous Love Line.
Yes.
Everyone loves Love Line, so don't forget that's always on the Res Ride from 4 to 6 p.m. And then of course Midnight Love, which comes to you every night with the brand new shows debuting on Fridays at 10 p.m. And this past week we did episode 49,
Yes.
All Time Favorites Volume 3. And it's basically a summary of season 2. We started out with episode 27 and took songs from each of the episodes moving forward. And we got, I think, all the way up to 36, if I remember correctly, because we ended on the smooth
Yep.
strip. And so that episode is playing, and will play probably maybe tonight in the replay. But that was an
You guys
amazing.
gotta catch it.
yeah,
Yes,
an
it was a
amazing
great one.
playlist. Yeah. So new shows though every Friday, or excuse me, on Friday when they do debut, but it does play every night at 10 p.m.
Yes, yes. And so into Friday, we have, as we mentioned, the Big Hour, but there's also the Friday Night Hot Mix.
Yeah.
DJ Blue, he's in
Yes.
Summer 2 of Summer Hits.
Yep.
So that's 7 to 10 p.m. on Friday nights.
Yes, and I listened this past week, you know, and he really went all over the place. He
I
even had
know.
some power jams in there, so yeah, it was really nice.
So that is a quick run through for our Monday through Friday. And as always, you can always catch some different power jams over the airwaves in between. But yeah,
Okay, good. So are you ready for the answer is? Or
I
not
am
yet?
ready.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're gonna. Do you want? Well, Tyler comes in second, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's 5 questions, and the first one does have multiple choice. Okay. So if you need it, let me know.
Okay.
Later on in August, the Olympic Games will be held in Paris, France. In 2024, August, Paris, France is holding the Olympics. Where are the 2028 Olympics being held? Do you need the multiple choice?
Yes.
Are the 2028 Olympics being held in Tokyo, Japan? Is it being held in Los Angeles, California? Are they being held in Cairo, Egypt? Are they being held in Montreal, Canada? Or are they being held in Bonn, Germany?
I'm going to say Montreal.
Montreal?
Yes.
Okay.
Shout out to Abel Tesfaye. Just kidding. He has a song called Montreal.
Nowhere.
One of
Yeah,
my
he does. I
faves.
love that song.
I know, me
do.
too.
Okay. So then next, the question number 2 also has multiple choice.
Yes.
A couple issues ago, the editor did a review of the limited TV series Shogun, and that was in the Winnebago Indian News. Shogun was a book put out in the mid 1970s. Who was the author of the book Shogun? Do you need multiple choice?
Yes.
Okay, was it Sidney Sheldon? Was it Martha Wash? Was it Michael Crichton? Or was it James Clavell?
I'm going to go with A.
Sidney Sheldon?
Or wait, B.
Martha Wash?
Martha Wash.
Okay.
I don't know. That kind of sounds like a made up name.
Number
I'm going to
3.
go with B.
Sticking with it?
Yeah.
Okay. So number 3. Pluto may no longer be a planet. However, it is still orbiting the sun, and since its discovery, it has not yet made a full revolution around the sun. Did you know that? What is the name of Pluto's moon?
Ooh.
Do you need the multiple choice?
Yes.
Is it Sharon, spelled with a CH? Is it Nyx, with an X? Is it Styx, like the river? Is it Hydra, or is it Kerberos?
Caballeros.
Kerberos?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that was the space question. Okay, so the 4th question. In what year in the state of Washington in the United States, in what year did Mount St. Helens infamously erupt? Do you need multiple choice?
Yes.
Was it in 1978? Was it in 1979? Was it in 1980 or was it in 1983?
It was in 1978.
78. Okay. And then the last question, there is no multiple choice. You just
Okay.
simply have to answer.
You either know it or you don't.
Yeah. In Louisiana, they famously celebrate Mardi Gras.
Mm-hmm.
What does Mardi Gras mean? Translate it. Mardi Gras is a French en français phrase. So, en français,
I like that.
Mardi Gras. What does it mean?
It means celebrate.
Celebrate. Okay. Okay.
Homegirl.
All right. So we're gonna get Tyler, and so. Oh, really? Okay. Gee, what the? Oh gosh.
So you gotta come.
All
So
right.
it's me versus Kevin.
All right. Kevin's gonna be filling in for Tyler, and so. Okay. So the first 4 questions do have multiple choice. Well, let's see if we. It's this one right there.
10-4.
There you go. Hey, there you go. Look at that radio voice.
I know.
I know. Yeah. So what is it? MCE?
Nope, just Eves.
Just Eves. Okay.
Just eat.
Still waiting.
Yeah.
Still waiting for that noon show.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was but I'll tell you after what.
Okay.
my show
So
is
the
gonna
first
be.
question. Remember, the first 4 do have multiple choice. So, in August of 2024, the Olympic Games will be held in Paris, France. Where will they be held in 2028? I have multiple choice if you need it. Okay.
Yes,
Are they
please.
going to be held in Tokyo, Japan? Are they going to be held in Cairo, Egypt? Are they going to be held in Los Angeles, California? Are they going to be held in Montreal, Canada? Or are they going to be held in Bonn, Germany?
Germany.
Germany, okay.
That's where I'd like it to be.
Okay.
I would go.
Okay. So, question number 2. Oh, we should say the answer,
Yeah.
right? You're both wrong.
Oh.
They're going to be held in Los Angeles.
Oh. Womp womp.
Dude, if you wouldn't have said Germany, I was going with Los Angeles.
I'm psychic.
It's only
on
supposed
it.
to be 4. You can't throw that 5th one in there. It's just not fair.
Oh, we did. So neither one got that question. Okay. So the second question, remember there's multiple choice. A few issues ago, the editor did a review of the limited FX TV series Shogun. Shogun was a novel that was released in the mid-1970s. Who was the author of the book Shogun?
Bruce Leroy.
Do you need the multiple choice? Okay. It was not
Shogun.
Bruce Leroy.
Shogun of Harlan.
What was
Was it?
Oh, you don't know The Last Dragon?
I didn't watch.
The Last Dragon is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh,
It's
I
got vanity in it.
Oh, okay. So go watch
Okay,
it.
so was the
Yeah.
author of Shogun, was it Sidney Sheldon? Was it Martha Wash? Was it James Clavell? Or was it Michael Crichton?
I like the sound of Martha Wash.
Martha Wash, same as Bethany. And the answer is James Clavell.
Dude, that was in my head too.
You both got it incorrect.
So are we 0 for 0?
Yes, both of you. Okay, so the third question, remember these have multiple choice. Pluto may no longer be a planet, and if you didn't know, it since its discovery has not yet made a full revolution around the sun. So it hasn't went around once since it was discovered by man. What is the name of Pluto's moon? I have multiple choice if you need it.
Yes, please.
Was it Sharon, spelled with a CH? Was it Nyx, with an X? Was it Styx, like the river? Was it Hydra, or was it Kerberos?
Sticks.
Styx, okay.
Watch it be the first one.
And the answer is, you both got it right, because all 5 are moons of Pluto.
Ah.
There was no
I
wrong,
like it,
no wrong
yes.
answer.
I'm on a roll.
Okay. So number 4, which you may have heard, in the state of Washington in the United States, in what year did Mount St. Helens infamously erupt? Was it 1978, 1979, 1980, or 1983?
80.
1980?
It's going to be 83.
And the answer is 80.
Oh.
Yes. 1980. Bethany said 78. Yeah. So
It's ding, 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 ding.
a little bonus if you can tell me which month.
But it was like in May.
Okay.
November's clicking in.
It was actually on March 27th, 1980.
I
Okay.
remember it.
Yeah, I do too. So
Me too.
Bethany does it.
Me too. In my other life. No,
Yes,
just kidding.
so the fifth question, there is no multiple choice. Mardi Gras is celebrated in Louisiana. What does it translate to? What does it mean?
I think party. She said
Party?
so, yeah.
So celebrate and party. And you're both incorrect. Mardi Gras translates to Fat Tuesday.
Oh,
Because remember,
someone said this before.
I've
Lent,
heard
Dang
that
it.
before. yeah.
Lent starts on Ash Wednesday. And so it is the beginning of the Lenten season.
So you
Party on the Tuesday. Fat,
before you have to
Yes,
let-
before you give whatever you give up. So it's Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. Mardi is Tuesday in French. Gras.
So like they say, party all night, wake up and pray.
Yes, exactly. So
Ah.
Kevin does win with a 1-0 victory.
Well, mad props because he's also our top song of the week holder too. So
yes.
he's on a
well,
roll.
Yes. It's your
And,
week.
and I beat Google.
Did you?
Ah.
Oh, gosh.
I tied Google once and I beat him once.
Very good.
Matter of fact, I went 5 weeks. I went
Really?
5 weeks on Google's without nobody beat him. They kept saying Kevin from Thurston. I was like,
All right, it's a good one, very good one. The answer is so. Don't forget about the missing and murdered Indigenous relatives powwow happening
Yes.
this weekend up at Riverside Park, beginning on Friday, but it is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So definitely come up one of the days or all 3 days. It's up to you. It's going to be gorgeous. And it's actually going to be very, very warm. Bring your chairs, bring your blankets, bring your water, bring your bug spray.
And
All
bring your
right.
good vibes.
Yes.
So before we go out real quick, I do want to throw in that I have a joke of the day.
Oh, okay.
So my joke is as follows. Shout out to Jamie. Where do bad rainbows go?
You took my mind there, Bethany.
where the sun don't shine.
Let me know when you guys want the answer.
I went there, Kevin. So anyway, okay.
It says,
I was just trying to think of a better way to say it. Or that
I didn't have a good way to say it. You did.
to prism.
It's
a-
oh my god.
Jamie laughed, sorry. It's a light sentence, but it gives them time to reflect.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Oh, I love it though. Prism. Oh my god.
That's my joke of the day.
That's a good one. It's a very good one.
So,
Okay, yes.
So what did the fish say when it swam into the cement wall?
cement.
Wall.
I like how you say cement.
I don't know.
Oh damn!
I.
Since I was out for Randall Dam,
Okay,
I talked to a fish.
All right, so going out, guys, Winnebago in the News, shout out to Jessica Smith-LaPointe for her submission on the masthead that is featured in the latest issue of the Winnebago in the News. Her son Clay in his outfit when he's dancing. It's super,
Yes.
super cute, and it's a wonderful photo. So you'll see him on the masthead. We will be picking another one for the other issue that's coming out in about a week and a half, right before powwow. Don't forget, if you have a relative that you want to see honored on the masthead, get a hold of myself or Tyler. Tyler.snake@winnebagotribe.com, Brian.Chamberlain at winnebagotribe.com. Submit their photo, something that it's pretty much like a bust because we don't do full body because you can't see
Yeah.
it. So like pretty much shoulders up, and then a little bit about them, especially their Ho-Chunk name, etc. And we'll try to do our level best to get them on. Also, don't forget, if you do have any issues regarding poison hemlock, get a hold of the EPD department because they will have remedies for you. It's out there, you see it everywhere.
Yes.
And definitely don't mess with it, guys, because it submits some kind of whatever, and it's not to be messed with. So,
Yep. That's a good one.
all right.
Shout out.
Kevin, are you going to be doing the food review in the coming issue? You said you went somewhere.
I go a lot of places.
Do you have one prepared?
No, I do not.
Do you want to?
I've been thinking about it, yeah.
Okay.
It's about my turn.
Yeah, it is. So Kevin will have his food review in this next issue because Tyler did Wingstop last time, and so that's also in Page Hikway.
Nice.
So, all right.
While you're thinking of yours, I want to give a shout out to. So we didn't have the episode last week of Winnebago Talks. I had a birthday person in my life last week. They celebrated a big day. He's my younger brother, but somehow he's my older brother because he's older than me now. But happy birthday to my brother Bradley Redhorn, aka Hoggy, aka Sire, aka Rick. Happy birthday to him.
Oh,
We celebrated his birthday.
Very, very good. Okay.
I guess I gotta give a shout out to Sydney Rain Harlan. We went to Powell this weekend, and she helped me watch my kids, and she tried to back out best she could, but so I had to throw Wild Water West in there to entice her. So,
That's all good.
but we ended up having a blast. I mean, just seen 4 fireworks shows.
Awesome.
I mean, we started off in Winnebago, then we ended up at Lake Andes, Fort Randall Dam, their fireworks show for the casino. Then we hit Greenwood Powwow, hit their fireworks show, and somehow ended up a Saturday in the park and watched their fireworks shows.
Where'd they shoot them from? The baseball field again?
Which one?
Saturday in the park?
No, they shoot it from off the top of them water tower things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
wow.
why they've been shooting them off.
Oh, okay. That's how long it's been since
I
I
know.
went. Yeah.
I haven't gone to Saturday in the Park since Sublime was there.
I was there.
It's been a long time for me. I think Aretha Franklin.
Dang.
It's crazy. I keep showing up there. Not even. I mean, like I went to see Flow Rider, but we were just driving by and found a parking spot 20 feet from. You know, I mean,
Really?
we
Wow.
have to take it. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And the coolest part of that one was my son had his Halloween costume on in the middle of July, and he was dressed as Spider-Man. And he did have nothing on underneath it but his underwear, so I couldn't change him.
Yeah.
So I just took him, and people was dapping me up everywhere. You're such a good dad, letting him wear his Spider-Man outfit. You know, I thought, wow, you know, and
I know.
wasn't even trying to, you know.
He's like, I know, thanks. So,
Get my book when it comes out.
yeah. Okay. So, look for his food review coming up in the next issue of The Win. Hakeiwe is where everything and all things about the Society of Winnebago lives. So
Yes.
this has been Bago Talks, and next time around, I'm sure guaranteed we'll have a lot to throw into that. And so hopefully we'll have a good week ahead. Stay cool, guys, and don't forget to water your pets. It's going to be really, really hot out.
Yep.
They
If
need
you're
water.
thirsty, they're thirsty too.
That's right. You're hot, they're hot.
Keep hydrated.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right, anything else?
Stay cool.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and Bago Talks will be back again next week. So until then, we'll see you later. KWTN and the Big Voice out.
The Big Voice.